So here we are. We have a couple of we're going to look at a couple of files, but mainly what I want you to do is to know that here is the image size, and I think this is what you were doing, Charlie. You were looking at this image and thinking, "Whoa, it should be 8 by 10 at 300." So we're going to do this, and you change this. Okay. So the file went from a 280 megabyte file, really large file, pretty good, to a 17 megabyte file. Okay. Now let's look in inches what we did. You know, it's 7 by 9. Let's see if we go back. We cancel. We're going to reopen. And we're going to change in inches. So the image here is 7 by 9 it was at 1200. We're going to change it to 300. And now we can do it, but we have a much smaller file, which is as we go on, it will lose information. So you really don't want to do that. That's why I think if they want you to do that, they'll tell you just keep it at 1200, and I'll show you what happens next. So let's assume you do this first and then go on working. So now we have a 280 megabyte file that became a 17 megabyte file. Okay, so I'll just duplicate the image. I'm going to do, yes, so that would be the one. I'll do some work. I'll make some adjustment. Let me go back 6. And right here, let's say I make some adjustment, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And now I want to save this as a JPEG. So I'm going to save as. And if I save a copy, so I save a copy, it gives me the name. I'm not going to change. I'm just going to keep the embedded profile, whatever it was. And I'm going to save it on my desktop so we can go look at it. And it says, okay, save as a JPEG. I'm going to say yes. And now here is the catastrophe. You have a range from 0 to 12 maximum. And honestly, sometimes the settings, or you're not sure, you could be medium and be like, okay, fine. So we'll try at medium, and we'll save it on the desktop. And now let's go look at the size of the file. So here is the size of this is a file. We just exported it, and let's get the info. Well, that file now is 4.6 megabyte instead of what it was. So let me see this now. And I'm going to save it again. But this time I'm going to save. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to add a number and I'll save it to the desktop again. I'm going to save. But let's say I'm going to keep it on 5. Let's look at the file again. And we're going to click on info. 3.3 megabytes. So as you lower this stuff, the files get smaller and smaller. And I have the feeling, so let me make sure. So this was still the original file. So let's say you just say, oh, I want this at 300. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I changed to what I thought was 300 normal, and now I'm going to export. I'm going to export it, save as a copy. So I'm using shortcuts, but I'm going to go back, save a copy. JPEGs, yes, I'll do it. This will be number 3. And I'm going to save it, let's say at 6 or 5. Let's go 6. Medium. So we went from a 180 megabyte file, and now we have a 400k megabyte. Now, I mean, it's basically we stomped on that file, we ripped it up, we put it back together with some scotch tape. It's useless at this point. I'm sorry, I don't it's just like, you know, it's minuscule. So that's why I think do not change do not change the do not touch anything in the file size and you'll be fine. If you want to do that, so I'm going to undo. So I'm back to the 300 and I'm going to show you. If you decide you want to enlarge it, you go to image size. Let's say you end up with a small size. You're going to go to percent and you can see, just change you at 100% and you go 104. And you go like this repeatedly until you get to the size you want. Okay? So if you're 1 megabyte and you're not happy with it and you want to get to 3 megabyte, you're going to repeat this process. It takes a second. It does not break the file. It does it really nicely. And that's the way I would suggest it. Okay? And that's about it for resizing.